Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Lost Mind podcast. It is myself, Caitlin Landen, and Lucas, Oldell Lucas.
Yeah, Oldell Lucas.
We're here to talk about Pokemon cards.
No way. We're here to talk about...
We've never talked about Pokemon cards before.
No, we're talking about Magic, typically. We're going to a Magic
We are
tournament
going to a Magic
tonight.
tournament after this.
Pretty sick. Pretty tough. Today, what format are we playing in Magic?
Playing Modern.
No way.
I'm going to play my mono white control deck with, I'm adding some spicy Urza Saga tech because of the new Spider-Man set. Peter Parker's camera is in my deck. I hate Magic sometimes, but
You just hate that it's
the Universes Beyond is kind of not Sigma. It's Elriz. I am not a fan of a lot of the Universes Beyond stuff, but the card is good, so I have to play with it. But Lucas is going to play Is It Prowess? I have 2 modern decks, so it's going to be sick.
going to be tough.
But this is not a Magic the Gathering podcast. This is a Pokemon trading card game podcast. And what is this like local tournament that you can like win a cup, win a mat at? I spoiled it.
No way.
Oh, I said it wrong.
2 League Cups. I went to 2 League Cups this weekend. I played Grimmsnarl to both. And I came second at the first cup. I came second at the first cup, and I won my other cup, which was just yesterday. At time of recording, when it comes out, it's going to be about 4 days ago on Sunday, and it was super sick. My first League Cup win as a master. Grimmsnarl seems to be getting underappreciated right now. A lot of people are saying it's really bad, but I disagree. He says it's really bad.
I don't think it's really bad, but I don't think it's great. But it's probably good for cups, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I think it's pretty strong.
Pretty swag.
Like, it's good in a Guardy. If you play it well, don't bench Frostlasses in a Guardy. It's pretty good into Dragapult. It's okay into Dragapult. And you're good into Typhlosion.
That's not.
And there's a lot of Typhlosion locally.
Crazy. I was looking at the Pittsburgh like day 1 statistics, and I was like, dang. I think straight Dengo's just gas again. But then Zoroark with Toedscruel got first place, and I was like, oh man,
No.
locals are gonna be all Zoroark with Toedscruel.
Basically, a lot of people love Zoroark.
Yeah, there's a lot of Zoroark players, especially when it does good. I know there's quite a few people playing After Worlds, including myself for a bit. But that's not the Mega Evolution format, is it? That's current format with black and white. Was it Black Bolt White Flare?
Yeah,
that's what their name is.
Black Bolt White Flare is the current format.
Kind of an irrelevant format pretty soon, though, because the Mega Evolution pre-releases, I think, are now over.
They are over.
The set will be legal for Lille as the first tournament.
I think so. Correct? Something like that.
And
not this Friday, but 2 Fridays from now.
There's some pretty broken cards in this set. I'm going to be real. One in particular that's going to totally just warp the format around itself. There's a certain setup card.
There's a certain setup card,
and
we can
L name.
We can bring it up right here.
But today we're kind of just going to go over some of the cards we think are going to have the most impact on the metagame. This first kind of slide we have here is just kind of some cards that we think generally will be quite strong, because there's quite a few staples, and then there are some cards that we think are going to be good in specific archetypes that have kind of shown some success in Japan, because they have cards before us, obviously.
They do. Yeah, I mean, and they are like a half set ahead of us. Maybe a full set with Mega Diancie, Mega Gengar.
Yeah, they have like the Gengar stuff.
Mega Diancie's actually like kind of format changing. Gardevoir is just playing Diancie now.
Yeah, it's pretty good. 300 HP basic that hits like 240, and it discards the energy, so it like is really good for using Monkey repeatedly because it gets the energy out of your play, so you can reattach them and redamage yourself.
And then you have a 300 HP Pokemon just in the active.
I think Lucario also gets like way better when the Gengar thing comes out, because then you kind of have the triangle of like Gardevoir, Dark Decks, and then Lucario counters the Dark Decks but loses to Guardy, and then Dark Decks beat Guardy, lose to Lucario. I think there could be like some sort of triangle forming there.
And Lucario is still really strong in a format that has Gardevoir.
Yeah, like Lucario probably beats most things that aren't Gardevoir, and then just has a 0 chance into Gardevoir ever one time.
Oh yeah. No, its Gardevoir matchup is horrific because they just positively trade into you every time. So we have some general cards here, starting with that setup card that we were all talking about, Lily's Determination.
You've definitely seen this card.
It's in every deck. It's in every deck. Shuffle your hand into your deck, draw 6. If you have exactly 6 prize cards remaining, draw 8. Sure, 99% of you already knew that. But
this card is very format warping.
Yeah, every single deck plays it. Literally every single one.
I would say every single deck. I don't think like all decks like Raging Bolt, Aero decks, like Goldengo's not going to play this. Like really heavy like Arven engines, like in the maybe like a Rhydon Turbo style kind of thing.
And turbo decks are still somewhat playing it.
Yeah, it's still like a shuffle draw 6, which is still really strong. But I think the point of this card, if you look, we kind of just have the graphics of what decks are going to be most of using this. You'll see these are all stage 2 slow decks. Lily is really going to reward decks that can take multiple prize card or multi-prize turns, such as Gardevoir with Makidori, Grimmsnarl with Makidori, Dragapult also conveniently playing Makidori, but also maybe the Dusknoir line, which does kind of get a nerf with the Psyduck promo. But you basically, if you can sit there and shuffle draw 8, shuffle draw 8, shuffle draw 8, set up all your stage 2s, set up all the spread. I really think of things like Dragapult and Guardy for sure, and Grimmsnarl, I guess. But then you can just take these big like 4, 5, 6 prize card turns after just having the best draw supporter like ever. Shuffle draw 8 is just so broken.
So good, dude.
Especially like with Pult, like Itchy Pollen plus Lilies for 8 is like
this very well
kind of a broken combo.
This very well could end up being the best draw supporter we've ever seen.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think that's a huge stretch. Like we were all playing. I don't know who was playing back in the Sun and Moon era, but we were all playing Lily, which was turn 1 draw up to 8, any turn other than that draw up until you had 6 in hand. This card is like so much better because it's not just your first turn. It's especially like maybe a controlling deck, maybe a deck that doesn't want to take prize cards. This is just shuffle draw 8 forever. And then like a really good thing about playing cards like this in a controlling deck is you can't deck out with them either because it's not like Iono where it shuffles their hand as well. You have like a card that just loops yourself only, which is another good thing about this card. In these slower decks, you can't deck out as easily.
I mean, in control right now, with Lily's determination, you still kind of want to play Xerosic just because when they play Iono and they're a deck that takes prize cards, they're going to have more cards in deck. So you still do need Xerosic, but when Iono's rotated, you can play Lily's determination pretty easily.
Yes, you can.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Wow.
100%.
What the Sigma?
This card also Pidgeot EX in this card, best friends.
Oh my god,
Shuffle draw
so
8,
insane.
So good.
Shuffle draw 8, you hit basically everything you need, and then you quick search for the missing piece.
You're probably still playing like an amount of research in the
most of these decks,
yeah. But the nice thing about like determination in these candy decks is like obviously you can have the wrong half of a candy combo in your hand and have to like research away 2 candies or something because you don't have the stage 2s, or the vice versa, or you have to get rid of like your night stretchers and stuff. There's so many valuable resources and so many moving pieces in these stage 2 decks that if you just have this giant brick of a hand and you just go shuffle draw 8, you're like not discarding anything and more likely to draw into like those candy plus stage 2 combos if you're not having to research away these pieces. And it's not like Iono where you shuffle the cards to the bottom. You can redraw the cards that were in your hand, which I think that's probably like if this shuffled to the bottom and then drew 8, that'd be kind of insane.
Oh, for sure. That'd be insane.
Yeah.
Be broken. But yeah, you're going to see this card all the time. It rewards slow decks, and slow decks are what the format is built around right now. You're supposed to just like sit there for 3 turns, do nothing, and then just go swing.
So we saw the format slow down like dramatically when Badu came out in Prismatic Evolutions. I think this is going to have like a much more significant slowing effect on the format because like you're just so disincentivized from taking prize cards. I do really want to stress that Shuffle Draw 6 Cynthia was like a 4 of in like pretty well every deck when it was legal. Cynthia itself is just a fantastic draw supporter. Professor Oak's New Theory, if you're an old head, I got some Ponce in my old retro decks. Sick card. It's also just Shuffle Draw 6. That effect has historically been very, very powerful. This is just strictly better.
Yeah. So Dusclops is going to gain a lot of value in this format just because you can put them on 5 and make it so that they can't Lilies for 8. Lower their draw, but then you see cards like Psyduck countering that.
Yes, let's talk about Psyduck too.
Yeah,
because
Psyduck and Lilies both kind of do the same thing in a sense. Lilies is like full draw, but they both slow down the format quite heavily.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be real. Dusk Pult is kind of just like been the best deck for. Well, I guess Gardevoir is probably better than it, but Gardevoir / Dusk Pult have been the best deck for like the better part of the last year.
An insane amount of time.
Basically, since Badu came out, that's been the format: is Gardevoir versus Dragapult, Dusknoir. Occasionally, you'll have like a straight Pult or Pult Zard pop into a metagame because it's a slightly better play for a tournament. But I do think this is silly because you'd think the deck like Dragapult Dusknoir, that's all these combo pieces playing Badu, it's going to be like one of the best Lilies decks. But also then you have the Psyduck promo that's going to disincentivize you from playing Dusknoir. So like the deck that you would think would benefit the most from Lilies also gets this very specific hard counter. So it's interesting because you have these like 2 cards that are both simultaneously very good and very bad for the deck. But keep in mind also, Psyduck just has 70 HP.
No, I do love... I think that Psyduck is a very well-made card. Psyduck is now going to be able to be played in like Charizard, and we didn't have the graphic up here.
Does it turn off your own ones as well?
I think it's your opponents. Double check that real quick.
I don't have my phone on me.
Nah, whatever.
It's okay.
Whatever. I'm 99% sure that it's your opponents, which is really strong.
Because then you can play your own Dusknoir or Magnetons. Miraidon players crying and shaking right now, by the way, because they're going to get caught in the crossfire. They can't pop the Magneton.
We're actually going to check this right now. I just want to make sure that we are being correct in what we are saying.
It's crashing out.
I am crashing out for real.
Where?
Dude, where are the Psyducks? Okay.
Just look it up.
Okay, we're going to Limitless.
Promo.
Keep talking about Psyduck.
Yeah, I don't think it's like, if anyone remembers when Giratina promo was it a thing? Pokemon?
No, it's both.
Okay, that makes more sense.
That's way better.
People that remember like playing Greninja Break formats with the Tina promo is like you have this card that I don't think Psyduck's the level of a hard counter that Tina
Giratina
promo
Break
is.
was? Yeah, not Giratina Break. Giratina, the
It's
promo,
just a
the
Tina
stop
promo,
breaks.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you play this one card that's specifically to counter one matchup. It's very good in that matchup, but it's quite irrelevant elsewhere. Like Damp only really has text into maybe the one Magneton player in the room,
Yep.
and then like the Dusknoir players.
And there is quite a few Dusknoir decks, so it's a little bit better than Giratina is in that regard. But
if this card had the same amount of HP, if this was a 130 HP basic, this card would probably like just it'd be way better. But the problem is it's 70 HP, so it can just get Hawlucha plus Phantom Dive or like Monkey.
Yeah. But decks that are playing Psyduck aren't really too mad about that. You can just stretch it back down. You know, you can punish the fact that they took a prize card on the Psyduck, because if they didn't take a prize, they just lost the game.
You get fast activations and stuff, but I do think like repeatedly putting a 70 HP little guy into play is not very good into Dragapult. You're just feeding them a prize card constantly. And it does like meaningfully shut down part of their deck. I do think this will be very good in like controlling decks if you can charm this or Lux Cape it or give it more HP. Then you force like the counter catcher or the boss. Bravery Charm would be better than Lux Cape, so don't just give it 2 prizes for knocking it out. But this with a Bravery Charm,
but also in control decks, like they can't kill the Psyduck.
Yeah,
because what you're doing with control is you're making it so that Pult either can't attack or they can't retreat. It's one of those. I think
this card is like the most powerful in controlling decks, because controlling decks have traditionally just very much struggled with the Dusknoir line because it makes them draw less off. Iono would now crack the Lily's Determination, draw 8. And also just takes prizes, right?
Yeah. But Psyduck, even just being in the format, makes control decks so much stronger because there's a less incentive to playing Dusknoir. For the first couple tournaments, you probably want to play Psyduck in your control decks, but once you kind of suss out how many people are playing Dusknoir, it might change from there.
And I really don't think that Psyduck is actually going to be that popular. It's really going to be like this ebb and flow of, is this the tournament to play Psyduck for the Duskbolt matchup? Do we think people are playing Duskbolt? Should I play it? It's going to be kind of just like a game of chicken almost, like of should I tech for this deck? Should I not? Is it going to be popular? Are people too scared to play Dusknoir because of Psyduck?
Yeah, if
Are
Dusknoir
people, like,
Dragapult
calling your bluff and no one's playing Psyduck, so you
Yes.
just play it anyways.
If
like,
Dusknoir Dragapult dips down in popularity for like a couple tournaments, it might be worth it to put Psyduck in your deck for that next tournament, because the top groups are all going to be playing Duskbolt. As soon as Duskbolt is not respected, it is the best deck in the room.
I also just think
Other than
you could
Gardevoir.
easily just play like a second Hawlucha in Dragapult as like a soft Psyduck deck that's also just good in everything else. And then you really wouldn't really care that much because they just put it down and you go Hawlucha ping. Like, I think that could be a reasonable answer.
I think
to
that
like
could be
heavy
good.
Psyduck, just playing more non Dusknoir damage mods, making sure you're playing Monkey Dory, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
that's my piece. I think there is also the Golduck, which has the exact same ability. It's
on a
stage
130
1.
HP Pokemon.
So you could, like, if you're very scared of your Psyduck dying, it lives a turn. You can like evolve it, but I don't think that's really ever.
yeah, I
worth
don't
it.
think that's worth it at
You're
all.
literally just like playing a stage 1 that's dead and irrelevant outside of like literally just evolving for more HP. Just charm it.
Yeah.
Charm it.
Okay, so these next cards that I want to talk about are not super general, I guess. They're fighting specific, but there are quite a few fighting decks that benefit from it. You see the Fighting Gong and the Premium Power Pro. Fighting Gong, if anyone remembers Fog Crystal.
Same card, but for fighting.
Same card, but for fighting. It's basic fighting Pokemon or basic fighting energy. Super strong, incredibly strong. Almost every single deck you see on under the Premium Power Pro and the Fighting Gong use it. I think a little bit less like Conkeldurr and Okidogi use it, but they're both still incredibly strong cards in those decks. But you're seeing like Ceruledge, you're seeing Goldengo under Fighting Gong, and that's just because a lot of these decks are using the Soul Rock engine right now.
Solrock's sick.
Soul Rock is
We'll get to
sick.
that.
So Soul Rock, Lunatone is just a draw engine. It's discard a fighting energy, draw 3.
If you have
That's all you
Soul
got to
Rock in
know.
play.
If you have a Soul Rock in play. Soul Rock also just does 70 damage to 1 fighting energy, which is incredibly strong.
If you have a Lunaton in play.
If you have a Lunaton in play, yeah.
Which presumably you want them both because they're both very powerful if either one's in play. But I think the Fighting Gong is cool because it kind of slots into this Lunatone Soul Rock package into lots of decks. It gives you like this, either you find a missing Soul Rock piece or Lunatone piece, or you just go get the energy to draw 3.
Yeah.
So this either reads find the common piece or draw 3 cards a lot of the time, which is quite powerful if you just want to slot it into a deck with really honestly
An
no
item
other fighting
draw 3
Pokemon.
is insane.
Yeah, you could just be playing like 2 Soul Rock, 2 Lunatone, some fighting energies, and then play it in a deck that's like Goldengo, for instance. I saw, I think there was some sort of larger Japanese tournament recently.
Yeah. Yesterday, a couple days ago.
Yeah, and I saw someone that did very well with like a Goldengo Soul Rock Lunatone list, and it looked really clean because it's just like playing metal energies and fighting energies, and it had 4 gongs, and you have the ability to go like Air Balloon Retreat into Soul Rock going second to do 70. It's kind of like Fan Rotom in like the Secret Box Dango list that we've been kind of going around. And you also just draw 3 extra a turn.
Yeah.
And you're already incentivized to be playing like a lot of energy retrievals because you're playing Dango. So a very large amount of synergy there. And then also there's things like Lucario that synergize greatly with the energy discard to power it up. And then also just 70 for 1 and your fighting deck is very strong. And, Raiding Greninja, discard an energy, draw 2. You didn't need 2 Pokemon to play, but what is your 3 off your concealed cards? That's pretty cracked.
And concealed cards is one of the best cards ever printed.
Yeah, we don't have Shuriken though. That's honestly the part of that card that was really, really broken.
No, yeah, that was insane. Moonlight Shuriken was absurd, bro.
They should have just made Radiance go to Lawson when they died. Then
Yeah,
that
bro,
Radiant Greninja would have been so balanced if it lost.
Being able to loop Radiant Greninja was insane.
So crazy. But anyways, this Fighting Gong is also going to boost things like you see Garchomp, Lucario here.
Yeah, and those are put in the middle because they get to use both Fighting Gong and Premium Power Pro.
I think Garchomp's pretty underexplored, actually.
I think
Garchomp might just
strong.
be better than Lucario right now.
Yeah, I think there is a Garchomp 60 that I've been kind of messing around with. I haven't played many games of it, but I've been theorizing a lot with it. Typically, I've been playing more, Control, Gardevoir, stuff like that. I love my Control decks. I love Psyduck. Yeah, but Garchomp is incredibly good. Your entire board is able to be set up with 1 Gabite, and you have the new Grass Stadium to evolve automatically into your Roserades and Toedscruel. Very strong.
Which is cool.
Yeah, and Lucario is also incredibly good right now. It's being used a lot with Solrock and what's the card called?
Lunatone?
Hitmonlee? No, that's different.
I don't know.
The big Hariyama.
Oh yeah.
Hariyama. It's being used with Hariyama, which just seems okay.
I'm playing Omega Ruby right now. I named my Hariyama Iron Hands. I thought it was funny.
That's tough.
Yeah. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. So they're both being used quite heavily right now, and Premium Power Pro is a big reason for that. It boosts the damage used by your fighting Pokemon by 30 damage. Dealt to your opponent's active Pokemon. Incredibly strong. You're using this in Mega Lucario. You're using this in Garchomp to push the numbers outside of to push the numbers into Dragapult territories, Gardevoir territories. Basically everything else in the format. The new Megas. You can one-shot things quite consistently.
A lot of Lucario lists are playing max build, and then max build numbers really line up well with this because you go 270 to 320 or 130 to 180. And then you go 180 to 210 to 240 to 270 to 310, and then you go 270 to 320 to 350 to 380. So with 2 powers, you're knocking out Venusaur Megas. 1 power and a belt, you're knocking out any stage 2 EX. Most Megas don't have 380 HP. So I think that the numbers line up quite well with this card. And then with Garchomp, you have the Roserades. So you have maybe 2 Roserades on the bench that's plus 60, and then you play Power Pro that's plus 90, and then 120, 150, 180. You have a lot of mods in the Garchomp deck that push your one fighting for 100, and then it is 260 for the second one.
Yep. 260 discard all energies attached.
Yeah, that's quite strong.
Yeah, and 2 energies. You can alternate between doing 130 and doing 260, and both of them are doing an insane amount of damage with the Premium Power Pros and the Roserades.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Mega Kangaskhan. I think this is if you're playing Latios EX, you're probably considering playing this. Because it's just such a clean pivot. It's just a coin bonus. It's in the active. Once per turn you can draw 2 if it's active. It doesn't work from the bench, so it's not like coin bonus where you could draw 1 on the bench, but it's functionally the same as having a Dango, which we know is quite powerful to draw 2 cards. This in conjunction with a Fez, you could go get knocked out, promote this,
and then just draw 5.
bench.
Yeah.
In
you're gonna have 7 cards in your hand.
That's pretty good Iona proofing.
Incredibly good. Yeah, and
It has a decent attack as well.
Attack is 3 colors, 200. Flip coin so you get tails. Do 50 for each heads. Do 50 more. It's a pretty decent attack. You're not using it in most of these decks.
It has 300 HP on a basic. It is 3 prizer, but 300 HP is pretty tanky. This does synergize with Boufflant. You can Bravery Charm this up to 410 with functionally with Boufflant plus Charm, which is huge. And then you're guaranteed 2-shotting everything. Maybe you get lucky.
And if they 2-shot you, if Boufflant 2-shots you, then your HP goes up to 470 and 530 and 590.
And then you could be you're a colorless Pokemon, so if you want to make this like an actual deck, you just play Dark Energies and then have monkeys. So
I was trying that with Terrapagos. I'm not sure if that's the best idea.
No, I don't think the Kangaskhan deck is really real.
I do think it's kind of good. Like, it could be okay with Glass Trumpets, Monkey Dories, but just 200 swing on something that you can pick up with like pennies and E-Switch and Glass Trumpet and stuff. It's pretty good. But it's mainly there for the draw.
It is a 3-pricer, though. Like, we do need to stress that is a very large liability, no matter how much HP it has, because there are things that can just one-shot it. Like Dango, Raging Bolt, fighting Pokemon can one-shot it very easily. However, there is the Protective Goggles, which is a card that's pretty sick on these basic megas because it says the basic Pokemon that's attached to has no weakness.
Me and Landen were thinking about these goggles earlier.
Yeah, no weakness on a 3-prizer is like huge. We saw that with Weakness Guard Energy in the VMAX formats. Like Eternatus with a
weakness guard was unkillable.
Crazy. Yeah, it's like so big. These things, like, you have to, like, I remember back in tag team format, like, there was so many weakness like decks because you hitting for weakness is so much more valuable in a 3-price format. So the goggles is very, very powerful in these Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. And you can use goggles on, liabilities like, Megaladius, like Kangaskhan, like, what else do we have? What other good Mega Basics are there?
There's Mawile, but there's not really fire types. Like,
yeah.
I do think with Mega Latias, I don't think Latias hasn't been doing very well. But I do think, like, the big problem for that was, like, Lily's Clefairy, because a lot of decks just play a Clefairy in their deck, and they just get to bop you for 3 prizes, like, by playing a Crispin.
I think it's actually like pretty good. if you can play goggles in Mega Latias with Ho-Oh and Latias EX, you can infinitely retreat and
you can just get 300 damage,
stream attacks and 300 damage, and you're knocking out everything with Vitality Bands, and with the goggles on, you're
not knocking out.
Clefairy.
Like, 300 is a pretty good number currently, because everything is like 330 HP or less, so Gravity Mountain plus 300 is knockout on anything. 300 is a significantly less good number when Megas come out.
Mm-hmm.
So
you can play Max Belt too.
You could. You just need to think about, like, 300 sounds like, oh, that's perfect. It's like basically one shot, and can Defiance, like, you're a 1 modifier away from one shot on anything right now, but it's not not the case anymore.
Not at all.
Now we're trying to, like, it's crazy. We're gonna get a 400 HP Pokemon pretty soon. It's nuts. We already have 380.
Yeah, that's absurd. Dude, 400's just, it's gonna be like like Y2K, bro.
Brutal. We also have this Eviltal, which I think specifically Grimmsnarl is probably the only deck that's actually gonna want this. But its first attack is Dark 20 Corner. They can't retreat. It has free retreat itself, and it has 110 HP. So you don't have Maractus's colorless attack cost for its corner. It doesn't hit for grass weakness, so like things like Genesect, Goldengo are not going to take 0 damage from it. You will be hitting Monkey for double damage, which is actually pretty bad. So they can Adrenabrain more damage. But the free retreat is very good in something like Grimmsnarl, because you basically are only playing Air Balloon for Maractus a lot of the time.
Yeah, things like Frostless Monkey Dory and Grimmsnarl just want to buy a couple turns, and Yveltal does exactly that. Especially Frostless Monkey Dory. Like, this card is stonk. Like, Frostless Monkey Dory stonks go way up with Yveltal.
I do think it is kind of like the needles on Maractus is pretty powerful though. And
no free retreat is just like so bad.
True. I'm not saying, like, you just have to think about, like, the trade-off. Do you want the free retreat in your deck, or
do you want something that does no damage into Genesect EX, into Dango, stuff like that? You know, it's like sneaky win cons with the Maractus, while with Yveltal,
it is also cool now. We do have 3 different 110 HP retreat lockers with different types. We have Sudowoodo, Yveltal, and now Maractus. So if there's ever, like, I don't think there's really any Pokemon that resist Dark.
I don't think there actually is. Yeah,
but
like, fairy.
Which, oh man, you make me sad. But it is cool, although hitting Dark and Weakness is pretty awful actually on something like this, because a lot of the time Monkey is the Pokemon you're trapping, and then you're just giving them a free full value Monkey Dory Ping plus an extra damage counter. Like, it's quite terrible.
Sometimes this is pretty weak, but it'll see its value. Now we want to talk about specific cards. Here we have kind of just like archetypes in general. You see right over here on the left, we have the Lucario with the Hariyama. It's doing pretty well in Japan. It's doing quite well in city leagues, and it's just because of that insane draw engine, man. Your early game is going to be Soul Rock swings, and your middle to late game is going to be Lucario 130, 270 swings. You can get anything you want into the active with Hariyama. It's doing quite well. And I know Landon's been thinking a lot about Lucario.
I like the idea of Zoroark Lucario to an extent. I think you're going to be fitting like a lot of cards in there, but they kind of cover each other's bases. Zoroark obviously has Dark Weakness into Gardevoir, and also just draws cards, synergizes because you can discard fighting energies for your first attack. And then they're both 2 retreats, so they're both very air balloonable. You probably play like 2 air balloons or something. Both synergize very well with Turo. Both are relatively low maintenance attackers that hit different relevant weaknesses. Like Lucario first attack, just like one-shotting Fez is pretty relevant. Like, and also with something like Zoroark, you can go to these board states like of Zoroark, Lucario, where your whole board is 3 3s and 2s. And then you can force them through a Zoroark and then force them through 2 Lucarios. Especially if you're playing like multiple copies of Turo, that deck would be really good at board manipulation in terms of like picking up and playing specifically. Like you could have a board of Lucario, Zoroark, make a Zoroark die, and then like play a Turo to kind of lock the board state or whatever.
And by playing Zoroark,
with Reshiram, because you do have to have the one prizer sitting there, but
by playing Zoroark, you are covering your bad matchup in Gardevoir. That matchup actually becomes fairly winnable.
I still think you're probably unfavored because it's like a pretty inconsistent Zoroark deck. You're playing like a completely useless half of your deck of Lucario in that matchup. You're not like a straight Zoroark deck that's going to be quite consistent at what it's doing.
I mean, I think the Lucario package is small enough to kind of still justify being...
I would think you're probably playing like a 3-2 line.
Zoroark's playing like Toad's Cruels. It's playing a bunch of random cards that don't really work well. I think
the problem is you have to play multiple basic fighting energies in your double dark attacking. That's where I find the issue with this. You're going to have to play like either heavy vessel or heavy energy counts. You can't really play luminous because Zoroark specifically wants to play basic dark for ends PP up, and then you need to play basic fighting energies for the first attack of Lucario. So you can't really like fix the math or fix the energy with luminous because it doesn't synergize with either. Like the list I kind of built, I was playing 4 of each and then like a luminous because you don't like mind drawing the luminous, but you would never want to draw like 2 of them.
Covers the energy that you need that turn. I like that idea. I don't mind it. But yeah, if you can just create like a tanky Zoroark Lucario deck, it doesn't seem very bad at all.
I do think like
one-shotting Pheasantipity is also a nice base to cover with Zoroark. If you just have a Riolu on your bench and in the Gardevoir you're just going like swing a Zoroark, and then on the last turn when they go like, oh, I'll just put a one prizer in play, you go like retreat Lucario, attach boss, and you take your last 2.
I think Lucario is definitely the best mega in the set in terms of like raw power level. I just don't think it's really playable until something changes with Gardevoir. The fact that you just have like...
I think it's playable. I think Zoroark Lucario is quite strong.
Yeah, that's the only way. You have to be able to fix the Gardevoir matchup. I think we finally have acknowledged as a community that Gardevoir is like... It was finally the most played deck at a tournament day one, which has like never happened for whatever reason because it's always been like the best deck for the last while. But you have like a hopeless Gardevoir matchup as just like straight Lucario. I don't think that's playable. You have to really wait for like the metagame shift of maybe these new really powerful dark types.
When Mega Gengar comes out, stuff like that. Hopefully Gardevoir falls down, but it's not going to. It's not going to. It never has.
I think from this set, what I take away, I don't really think any of the Megas are going to be that playable in like Tier 1 archetypes. I don't think we're going to really see any new decks per se. I think we'll probably see like some Goldango lists adopt the fighting package. I think we'll probably see a lot of Lilies, obviously. I think
we're going to see Garchomp. It's not a new deck.
Yeah, but we're going to see like existing decks get buffed, like with the Power Pro, with the Fighting Gong, with the Lilies, with the fighting package. Like, I don't think it's really going to be super good idea to be playing like a straight Mega deck yet. I don't think there's enough support for it. I think that like Dango Intel rotation is too powerful.
Yeah, Dango is insane. Stonks for Dango go way up this format just because of the amount of HP that these Pokemon have.
It's so easy. It's like just trivial, honestly, to knock out 2 Mega Pokemon with Dango. Like getting 8 energies in hand for 2 prizes is pretty tough. But if you're getting 3 for it, it's totally worth it. And it's super easy to like double Superior. You have Levincia
and you have that first turn Esearch Pro for basically
for 7, and then you have to have, like, 2, and you have to find 2 other energies off of like
because there's 8 types, so you just grab 7 including attachments.
Well,
you only need 1
you're
more.
assuming you price 0 energies on, like I'd say you're probably pricing on energy usually.
Okay.
But yeah, like it's just the point is like Dango's broken till rotation. I think like you have to be playing basically like Toad Scroll. Otherwise, there's really not really like Cornerstone
and
is relevant.
That this new stadium up here is a very good option with decks that want to play Toad Scroll.
Instant evolve your Toad Scroll back into play. I mean, you could Super Rod Evo before, which is functionally
which is basically the same thing, and you don't have to play some really bad stadium card.
Yeah.
But stuff like Garchomp that are playing Roserades and Toad Scrolls, it fits that niche. You can put it down, you can full evolve your Roserade, you can put it down, you can full evolve your Toad Scroll. I actually do think it's going to see some play outside of Venusaur, outside of Hydrapple, stuff like that. I think the stadium will be good. I had to sneak in that Hydrapple. I love Hydrapple.
I think like for anyone that played Forest of Giant Plants was legal. That card was broken because of the grass Pokemon in Standard. Like obviously this card is kind of a broken card, but it's only as broken as the grass Pokemon that are legal.
Yeah, when Force of Giant Plants was legal, there was a grass Pokemon that item locked.
So you could just go first and item lock them like so easily because there was Shaman in format and Trainer's Mail and Acrobike and Ultra Ball and all this stuff. It was
a bunch of cards that just drew through your entire
It was so incredibly easy to get Tournament Battle through, honestly. And then you had things like Decidueye GX where you could go first, item lock them, put two like Decidueyes and snipe for 40 or something, and then you're like pinging all their basics before they evolve.
Yeah, Decidueye GX was just like a spread thing.
Anything like that that's oppressive in this format. I do think like some sort of Venusaur plus like Ogerpon thing is probably pretty powerful because you do have like the tricky thing with the Bulbasaur. It's just
the Bulbasaur being able to retreat lock's really good.
You're just going to get farmed by one shots. Like this deck doesn't have that kind of deck doesn't have any out. Like you're just assuming that they can't KO you. Otherwise your deck doesn't work. You're like a tanking deck and it's pretty easy to just, they can one-shot me. I lost this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, Meganium can make it so that you can one-shot and kind of hope to come back. But a lot of the time when these decks that rely on having a lot of HP are able to get one-shot, the matchup's not good.
Yeah, this is going to be like noticeably more consistent than playing like a Rare Candy style Stage 2 deck because you can just kind of spam the evolutions as you draw them. You don't have to get the combos. You do have to go like Stage 1 into Stage 2 after you find the Stadium, but you're probably playing 4 Stadium and then very thick lines of your Stage 2s.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 Stadium.
But you're still playing a double Stage 2 deck plus... You're playing like a bunch of Ogerpons and probably like 10 plus grass energies. And sure, you do have like lilies and stuff, but I don't think it's.
And bug catching set does improve the consistency a lot.
But. Yeah, I do think it's just you're going to be a bit like you're going to be very weak to Budu. You're going to be very weak to Frillish, Jellicent. You're going to be like pretty prone to like these slow starts, especially like a tanking deck like this. If you fall behind, it's quite hard to catch up with like that kind of archetype.
Yeah.
However, this like Venusaur plus Wally is a quite strong combo because obviously you can just move the grass energies off.
Full heal and put them back on. So if they cannot one-shot you, you're going to get a lot of value from that Wally's. But I think Venusaur does have potential, like Landon's saying, just because you can one-shot, you can full heal, you can tank, you have double energies, which is just always good.
I don't think I really believe in like the Relicanth shenanigans. I do think just like you're playing 4 bind down Pokemon.
And Relicanth is for the fact that you can Bulbasaur bind down on
with
a 3 HP Pokemon.
But like against the decks where binding down is going to be good, like you probably could just go one price board state and just go like boss Bulbasaur. They kill it, bring another Bulbasaur up. Boss Bulbasaur. They kill it, bring another one. You just keep doing that. Like against the decks that's going to work against, that's probably could just be your strategy.
Yeah.
So I don't think the Relicanth is kind of really worth it at all. It's just going to be a dead card most of the time.
Yeah, and I think Toad's Cruel makes this deck a lot better.
Yeah, you do have the out into...
You already are just playing, probably a good amount of recovery. You're playing good ways to find Toad's Cruel. You're playing good ways to evolve into Toad's Cruel.
Very Sigma.
It's gonna make Goldango a lot better. Goldango, obviously, like we just said, is going to have a higher meta share than did this format even. Maybe, or it might be close. Raging Bolt also very strong because it targets these slower starts with the Baby Bolt and it's able to one-shot a couple times.
And I bet you people are probably not thinking of Shaman when the new cards come out.
But Shaman might be worth it because Raging Bolt's really good.
I want to talk about the Gardevoir cards. The Stadium is obviously very strong. If you haven't seen it, once per turn, you can discard a psychic energy from your hand.
No, discard an energy.
Oh, any energy? Okay.
Any energy.
And then you draw until you have equal amount of cards in hand to psychic Pokemon in play. So it's like...
That you have in play.
Yeah. So if you have 6 psychic Pokemon in play, which you probably won't, you'll draw till you have 6. You're probably going to have like a Fez. It's probably going to be like draw into 4 or 5. But also just like being able to have an out to pitch an energy is pretty strong. I think this card's like pretty good. But when you think about like... I have to have 4, 5, 6 psychic Pokemon in play for it to be really strong. Like, if this is discard an energy, draw till you have 3 in hand, like, that's still pretty good, but it's not, like, broken. And Gardevoir's not playing Poffin, so it's not going to be super easy to fill your board. You're nest balling for stuff. You can just, like, Artisan, but then you want to have Artisan in play.
I've been liking it a lot in Gardevoir.
I think it's good,
in the few amount of games that I played, The stadium was coming up a lot. I was playing 2 of it just because I think as much draw as possible in Gardevoir is really strong, just because that deck is a brick, man. I just don't like how bricky it is.
I just like you're probably like you want Artisan in early game more than this.
I mean, I think that's kind of true, but once you're able to get enough Psychic Pokemon down in the early game, like you're able to get a couple down, and then you fill out the gap.
It's less easy to get them without having Artisan, though. I feel like you're probably playing both of those cards.
You are. I think I was
playing Secret Box too, because then you can like Secret Box for the one you need in specific scenarios when you draw the Secret Box, so it makes it better.
Yep. Gives you Iona proofing too.
Yeah.
I was playing 2 of the I think it's called like Psychic Garden or something, Mirage Garden, and I was playing 1 Artisan. I think it's a pretty good split. I really like it. You can play 2 Artisan, 1 Draw Stadium though, like that's completely fine also. But this Mega Gardevoir card is a replacement to Drifloon in this format.
To an extent. It's a similar card to Drifloon. I think the biggest thing about this card is just a more higher HP Pokemon die onto them low and attack with in the active. That's where I see this card. Because
things can one-shot Gardevoir, but things can't one-shot Mega Gardevoir a lot of the time.
Yeah, 360 versus 310. It is only plus 50 HP, but that is quite a big difference. Like, charming your stage 2 is pretty good.
Yeah.
And, like, if you do think about it, it is actually not a very great multiplier. Like, it's fine, but you have to put, like, 6 energies in play.
6 or 7, 6 or 7 energies to do 350.
Oh my god.
To do 350.
And this is there's definitely like not a straight Mega Gardevoir deck that is playable. Like that is hot poo poo garbage. Like right now, until Gardevoir EX proper rotates, then that's not like something you're ever interested in.
Yeah, like, I mean, maybe you could Rare Candy into Gardevoir, attach all the energies with the first attack.
But you're not playing like this without the regular stage 2 Gardevoir. Like they're not playing like a 4, 2, 3 Mega Gardevoir line and just going for the first attack and filling your board. Like that's not a deck we're playing.
Maybe with 1 Gardevoir EX.
Right.
But no, I disagree. I don't think that deck's
You're
very
like a
strong.
monkey deck. This is literally, I think, just a higher HP. It does have a higher damage cap. It's nice that you don't, like Lucas saying, you don't have to like. It's kind of like Drifloon. You don't have to charm it though, which is nice. But and you wouldn't be.
It does save space in the deck.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't have to use many charms, but I don't even think this is like a given. There's a lot of lists that I've not actually seen that many lists that are even playing this over in Japan.
But that's because Mega Diancie's a thing.
Yes, that's true, and that is out.
Mega Diancie fills this role, it seems.
To an extent, it still has less HP.
Less HP.
Than a Guardy. Like a Guardy EX.
When I was playing Guardy EX, the Mega Gardevoir wasn't coming up too much.
No, I don't think it's actually that great, but it has I'd say it's mostly for higher HP, Iona them low, but usually 310 honestly is enough, and like most of the time the way they're able to KO your Guardy is through weakness anyways.
Yeah. So I do think the card is like
if you think of what can actually one shot a Guardy EX, it's pretty much just Zard.
And Grimmsnarl. Yeah, they
both
both still cover that weakness and still hit for 360.
And they both kill it. So yeah, I don't think this card is actually really that good.
It's
post rotation
okay.
one, and then the next set we're gonna get like the Psychic Patch, and then post rotation this is probably a thing, and then post row I could totally see like a 4 copies of this stadium, and like you're just like pitching energies and attacking with the thing, filling your board up,
and attaching a bunch of energies, stuff like that.
Yeah.
This Mega Mawile as well. It's been okay. Our Chaladon's been going up in usage in Japan just because Mega Mawile is a really nice, like in-between attacker. What?
I don't think it's great. I think the cool thing about this is just like a one-of. The first attack is 2 metal energies, 80 for each prize card you've taken. So it's just kind of like the end of the game. Our Chaladon is hitting for 220. Once you're at 3 prizes, hitting 240, then 320, and then 400. Like when you're on 1 prize, it one-shots pretty much anything. And then 320 is still pretty strong number on 4 prizes taken. But the second attack, it does 260, and then if the opponent's active already has damage on it, it only does 30. But this is both a higher damage output option and also a very efficient cornerstone answer. 270 HP on a 3 prizer is pretty low. Like that is going to die pretty easily. Although in our Chaladon, it's pretty easy to like be playing Turos and stuff. So this is probably going to tank a hit. It is less tanky than our Chaladon, which is funny as a 2 prizer. That is a stage 1.
Yeah.
But this is just a higher damage out. Like this plus, like you're playing Black Belt for 260. This can just be like a bench, evolve, retreat, attach 260, or you could play other damage mods, make it go higher. You're playing maybe like monkeys or something. I don't know what really our Chaladon lists are looking like right now. But I think this card is like a pretty meaningful buff. You're probably just always playing like a one of this in our Chaladon.
I agree. It's a really nice late game option. Just makes it so that like especially into Charizard, Gardevoir, stuff like that, you're gonna be one shotting them at the end of the game, which was a super hard hill to climb. Yeah,
and like this card, and another similar thing, like how I was talking about Lucario Zoroark kind of style deck earlier, this is also going to be a pretty good deck at like Turo fixing a board. So like making them go through maybe Archaladon or Chaladon, and then like you Turo up or evolve all of your Pokemon into state like EXs, and then you make them go through the
Archaladon Zoroark.
Yeah, I love Art. That's actually the only way I would ever play Archaladon. I would never play Archaladon without Zoroark because I was playing that deck for quite some time. That was so sick with like Trolley, Arven, Pokegears plus
so strong.
The deck was so consistent, and I think this would fit perfectly in there because I was playing like Hops Zacian as a basic, which was actually not bad because you could go like Arven for the tool that gave it -1 and then like 1/-1 attack, and then it would hit for like 270. Yeah, because he could one shot like Dangos. This also one shots Dango, which is pretty relevant. Which
without a tool,
it does just get return KO'd for 3 prize. But a lot of the time, quite honestly, the 3 prizer may not even matter. Like if they don't get to KO a Dura or like a Zoro or whatever you're playing, and then they just have to go 3/2/2 anyways. So this functionally may just feel like a 2 prizer a lot of the time in like that kind of deck that can just establish a full EX board state super easily, like with like Serranos or whatever. Yeah. So I do actually think I
do think Mega Mawile is pretty strong.
Yeah, I think this is actually pretty good in Archaladon. This may breathe life back in. I'd really like to try Archaladon Zoroark again. That deck is really consistent. I think this is a very powerful option. It does save a space as well because you don't have to play the band for the Zacian. I know there's like that promo Zacian that's pretty good cornerstone answer, but this card is just the best option for that slot, I think.
Yes, it covers more than just a cornerstone, which a lot of those other cards failed to do.
Last card we want to mention is this like is Mega Signal, whatever.
I think it's Mega Signal.
It's just an item, search for a Mega EX, put it in your hand.
It's not great.
It's gonna get better, obviously, as more Megas come out. It may be better once we lose. I don't think we're losing Ultra Ball though.
We're not.
We're getting
Ultra Ball is just always going to be better than this card.
Yeah.
You might play like I was seeing there was like 2 Mega Symbol in what was the deck list that I was checking out today? In like a Mega Latias deck.
This would be like we obviously had Tag Call back in the day. That was search for 2 tag team cards. There was also tag team supporters. That card was way better than this will be. The only place I'd really see this confirm seeing play is if you're playing like a quad Mega deck. Like if you have like all basics.
If you're playing like, for example, with the Mega Latias, when you're playing a Mega Latias and a Mega Kangaskhan, you know, something where you can grab multiple of it.
If you're playing Arven, maybe I'd be interested in, even then, like, just Nest Ball, man.
Just Nest Ball. Yeah. But, I mean, they were already playing 4 Ultra 4 Nest and then played 2 Mega Symbol.
It is an optional thing. Like, it is an item search for a Pokemon. It's a 1-for-1 search card, but it's very specific. There's not that many Megas yet because we just have one set. This is going to get better and better and better. I do think, like, maybe like you're saying, playing it as like your 9th, 10th ball card, or if you're just playing, I think Nest Ball probably rotates, right? It must. Sure. It was only. I'm pretty confident it is.
I know.
If Nest Ball rotates, this will be pretty good in like just.
But I know Ultra Ball is staying. Yes, Nest Ball is rotating, but Ultra Ball is staying.
So yeah, like a quad Mega deck, like we saw, like just the quad tag teams. It was just 4 of your
4 Pikarom, Green's Exploration. Yeah. You're gonna be playing stuff like Victory Symbol just because Nest Ball's gone.
Yeah.
But I think it is a decent card, and it might see some play.
And I think, my friends, that is pretty well all the content we have planned. I just want to do a quick summary of what I think is going to happen with this set. Like I said earlier, I don't really think there's any new decks that are going to be like tier 1. I think maybe tops like Venusaur maybe cracks tier 2 for a couple events, but I really think it's probably like a tier 3 fun deck.
I think Venusaur's okay.
Yeah, I think it is okay. I think it probably will like be in like top 128s, top 256s. I don't think people are really outside of like a one-time thing. I don't think people really are going to be cracking top 8s with Venusaur deck, but I do think we're just going to see a lot of like, we're going to see obviously a lot of Lily. We're just going to see like cards infiltrating standard in terms of just like kind of techs.
Yeah,
staples.
This set is a very tech based set.
Yeah, Kangaskhan's going to be a good.
Yeah, Kangaskhan's an amazing draw card. Lily's an amazing draw card.
Psyduck's not in the set, by the way. It's a promo.
It's only. A promo.
It's a blister pack.
Yeah, it's like a.
But it comes out at the same time.
Yeah, so Psyduck, I think, is going to be incredibly strong. It's a very tech-based set, and I think it is going to make a couple of changes in the format. Like, I think Venusaur could make a top 64, could make a top 32, could even top cut. I think it's a decent set. I think it's a decent deck that has some decent matchups.
I think the decks you're going to see are the decks that are underneath this Lily's card. I think the existing decks that are already out, the stage 2 spread, slow setup decks are going to be
much better.
Just better and the best decks still.
And
maybe
then
there's some Tesla in with Megas, but
other decks are also going to be playing the Lilies. Like I didn't include Garchomp and stuff like that in Lilies, but Garchomp's going to be playing Lilies. Any deck that can play Lilies is just so good.
Yeah,
that's everything.
But I think that's all. I felt that was a pretty good yap sesh. I'm gonna be.
That was a good yap sesh. I think we got a lot of
some good yapping. We're gonna play some Magic.
We're gonna
We're gonna say Sigma Toilet a lot, actually.
No, actually, I'm not gonna do that.
No way. You're not gonna say Ohio.
I hate this guy.
What's a Skibbity Toilet?
So real.
6'7". But yeah, any shout outs, Lucas?
I got my Twitter, Lucas Oldale, and I barely exist there, and my Twitch that I haven't streamed on in 4 months, Lucas Oldale.
Yeah, my Twitter, TCG. We are making a very meaningful effort to do bi-weekly on Wednesdays, releasing at the same time. Lucas is now editing the videos, so hopefully he is locked in and gets it done. It's Monday right now. So.
It's either going to be released on Wednesdays or Thursdays.
Yeah, Lucas is already copping out right now.
I'm not. I am.
He is. But anyways, thank you so much for listening.
There's going to be an attempt to be
and we're gonna try
on Wednesdays.
I got access to the Spotify account again, so we're gonna try and lock in. We're gonna try and be consistent
Spotify.
Every 2 weeks, the same day on Spotify, on YouTube. We've been kind of lacking, but we're both.
We're hoping that the quality goes up,
and I'm tired, and sometimes I just don't got it in me to be that guy. But
be what guy?
Just getting it locked in every 2 weeks on Wednesday.
Yeah, he got a full-time job.
True.
I think we're hoping that the quality of the content goes up. We're hoping that we went back to slides. We haven't done a slide video.
I mean, we made 2 slides, but we had a lot to yap about.
Yeah, we would have.
People are here for the words. Everyone else can put a slideshow with cards on it. Everyone knows with these cards. They don't want to hear us yap. If you're here still listening to this, you like our voices yapping. So, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please like, please subscribe, please comment, please send this to your mom.
Your mom might really like this.
She probably would really like this. If you texted your mom the link to this podcast episode, I think she would be very appreciative. Anyways,
she'd be like, "Thank you, son or daughter."
One love. Stay Sigma. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Ah!